Coronavirus is providing a glimpse into the future, mass unemployment. Hopefully, with the coronavirus, it is temporary and people are able to return to work soon. But there is a new virus coming, and it is coming to take more jobs, and that is called artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the production of software that often emulates human capacity. So, for example, self-driving cars and automated call center responses. If any of you have worked in retail or at a restaurant, or even as a delivery driver, these jobs may soon be gone, and you may no longer have a place to work. AI will take over tons of different jobs, resulting in mass unemployment, and many predict could cause another depression. The rise in artificial intelligence will affect almost all of us. In a 2019 article, Oxford academics Carl Benedict Frey and Michael Osborne estimate that 47% of American jobs are at a high risk by the 2030s to be lost by automation. This is 40%. That's almost half of the workforce is at risk of being replaced. And once these jobs leave, they're gone. They're predicting people will no longer be able to cover basic living expenses. They'll no longer be able to spend money at small businesses, causing more small businesses to close, and overall just a lot of problems for the economy. The jobs expected to be hit the hardest are jobs in retail, reception workers, and worst of all, truckers. Truckers make up over 3 million, have 3 million jobs in the workforce, and with 3 million people unemployed who often only have a high school diploma, it's tough to retrain them and put them in the new jobs. So they're kind of stuck. This rise in automation is inevitable. You can't stop big companies from producing these things and innovating on their current technology. And current solutions aren't working. Many people think that you can easily just retrain these people. You can retrain a trucker to become a programmer, and that they'll just have to adapt. But this just doesn't work. Imagine your dad trying to learn programming at this age. I mean, unless he's a programmer right now, I know my parents, neither of them could learn programming and apply it to a career. It's just too late. It's too late to retrain these people, and the data backs that up. A 2019 Atlantic article examined federal retraining programs, and they found through their assessment of federal retraining, they found only 37% of participants who went through the program were working in their targeted industries. So around a third of people. This is not sustainable for a big population who will soon go through this massive job loss. That's still almost 2/3 of people that will be unable to find a new job. We need a better solution, and that solution is universal basic income. The United States needs a form of universal basic income. Universal basic income is basically a guaranteed check from the government. It's intended to cover basic living expenses such as rent, food, gas. The big plan I'm going to be referencing in my speech is $1,000 a month, kind of made popular by presidential candidate Andrew Yang. It'll help transition people, so when they lose their jobs, they have something to fall back on. Instead of being at rock bottom, they're at least at the start line. On top of that, as it helps people transition through their jobs, it also gives those in the middle class more purchasing power, which allows them to put the money back into the economy. It allows people to take risk as well. Allows you more leeway to open that new business or pursue your dream, on top of helping that transition from artificial intelligence. A check of $1,000 a month for pretty much everyone over 18 sounds too good to be true. The main criticisms are that it would cause inflation, it would motivate people to stop working, and it would be impossible to pay for. So, with inflation, it would not cause more inflation because it's not pumping more money into the system. It's not like the Fed's just printing more money. It's simply just doing a better job of cycling that money throughout the economy. It's like, it's described as trickle-up economics. Usually when you give money to the lower middle class, they spend it and they put it back into the economy compared to if you give it to the top percent, they often hold on to it. The claim that it would unmotivate people to work, also, while it hasn't been proven that it doesn't, it is very highly unlikely that people will be comfortable living on $12,000 a year. That's often very difficult to do, especially in big cities where that might just cover rent. So people will still will still have a motivation to work. It's just that they're no longer motivated by starvation and homelessness. They're more motivated by passion. This also gives people more opportunity to choose jobs that they want to work at instead of jobs that they just get stuck at. And as far as paying for it, this is the big question because it's expensive. It's not easy to pay for, but there's many different solutions. There's many, for example, the negative income tax, which is basically anyone below the poverty line receives what people above the poverty line pay in taxes. But then there's also more reliable solutions, such as taxing companies who replace their workforce with AI. So, for example, if Amazon switches to completely AI, they'll still be taxed for what they pay people in wages. Anyway, and then there's also something called the value-added tax. So all the products produced by artificial intelligence will be taxed, and that money will go back into the program. You can also cut other welfare programs. So, example, if everyone's using universal basic income, you can easily cut programs such as Social Security, like disability, unemployment, all these different programs that cost the government a lot of money, and just combine it all into one, which is the universal basic income. It's difficult to explain all the specifics of how you pay for it in the speech, but if you're truly interested, you can go research it, and there's plenty of different videos explaining it in detail, specifics on how it's possible. It may seem radical, it may seem like a big change, but stuff like this is already going on in the United States as well. Alaska has a system of universal basic income. They give back a dividend to all the citizens based on their oil prices or oil sales. And a 2018 Penn study found that many of the criticisms of universal basic income were not found in Alaska. So, for example, in their study, they found the amount of jobs increased by 1.8%. They saw the same level as inflation as the rest of the United States, not anything more. And they saw a boom in small businesses. They saw their small businesses really take off. So Alaska shows us that this can be a real future on a large scale, and that it is possible. Obviously, there's stuff to work out with the cost, and that it's not a perfect plan, but it's certainly better than what we currently have. This is the only real solution to combat job loss. Without it, the United States will see mass unemployment, with people that are no longer able to stay on their feet, and more people will overload the system as far as unemployment and disability checks go. What we need to do is advocate, and vote in people that believe in these same policies. This is a real solution that will change the way of life for all of us, and will really help America become the country that it should be. Thank you.